Hello and welcome to Miss Riley's Maths videos. Today I'm going through the first week in an algebra booklet that I've given my Form 2 higher level class, and I'm going to work through the solutions to it. And how I suggest you use this video is that you look at the questions if you haven't already attempted them. So if you're looking at this later in time and you haven't attempted them, I suggest you attempt the questions first and then look at my solutions. And don't forget to pause the video as you go along if you need some time just to finish attempting a particular question. It's also important to bear in mind that you show your work. So all the time you want to show your work and make sure that it's clear to the person reading your work how you got to the answer you got to. Okay, so let's go for it and see how we get on. So this is week 1. I'll just scan down here so you can pause the video and attempt the questions first if you haven't already. Okay, so here's week 1 and I'll just go through these very quickly. It won't take long, so pause the video if you need to understand something, or stop and rewind the video if you need to. Simplify just means put things together. So I'm going to put together the terms that are similar. So I've got a 12j, a minus 12j and a plus 5j will be minus 7j. Oh, and plus another 10j. So minus 7j plus 10j, so that'll actually be 3j. So or you could say either that minus 12j and plus 15j gives me plus 3j. Then I've got minus 13k, so they were together. Minus 13k plus 7k is minus 6k. Again, simplify. Again, what we're looking at is looking for the letters that are the same and have the same power. And don't forget, numbers also go together. The numbers without any letters, they're called constants. So x and 6x is 7x, that was those two. And then I have minus 17y plus 9y is minus 8y. And then I have 4 and minus 15 is minus 11. So notice I'm testing you on your integers as well. Remember, when you're adding and subtracting with numbers, if you've got a positive and a negative, then the bigger number, the sign of the bigger number is going to win out. Because remember, we had that battle in the park between the negs and the posses, and whoever's got the biggest gang wins out. Okay, so just remember that, or use your number line. Minus 4a squared, minus 5a squared. So I have a's all along here, but the a squareds are different to the a's. So I'm going to put my a squareds together. Minus 9a squared, minus 8a plus 6a, 2a is minus 8a plus 2a is minus 6a. That's those two. And then I have plus 2 and minus 6 is minus 4. Here we have a weird mix of things. We have x, y squareds, x, y squareds. It's important to note this y squared each time. It's xy squared and xy squared. So they can go together. And plus 3 of them and minus 9 of them will be minus 6xy squared. Plus 4m and minus 14m is minus 10m. And so that's, they were gone. They were gone. No, they were gone. This is different again, isn't it? Because that's a plus 4m and a minus 14m. And this is an m squared. So that's going to be plus 4m squared because there's no more of those. And then I have a minus 5 because there's no more constants. So that's quite an interesting answer. Minus 6y squared, minus 10m, plus 4m squared, minus 5. In the next one, we're substituting in. So this might also say evaluate. Find the value of means evaluate. So either of those words can mean the same thing. So I'm putting in the value. It's 3 by a by b by c. So it's 3 by a is minus 3. By b is 4, by c is 2. So 3 by minus 3 is minus 9, by 4 is minus 36, by 2 is minus 72. 2c squared means 2 times c squared, minus 5 times a times b. So 2 times 2 squared, that's going to be 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 5 by a by b is 5 by minus 3 by 4. So 5 by minus 3 is minus 15, by 4 is minus 60. So now what's happened here? Let's just do that. I might put that in a bracket first. So minus 5 by minus 3 is minus 15, by 4 is minus 60. So it's 8 minus minus 60, which is 8 plus 60, which is 68. So just be careful. Sometimes actually brackets might work better, so you can make sure you get your order of operations first and deal with all the multiplications before you try the subtraction. Let's do it in brackets this time and see what happens. So 2 by 3a is 3 by minus 3. Now when I write 3a as 3 by minus 3, that's the same thing as saying 3 times minus 3. So sometimes I find it easier to write it with a bracket. I write it with a multiplication symbol to help you to see what I'm doing. But actually the way I do it, I tend to multiply my brackets. So it's up to you, whichever way you find best. It just sometimes helps to keep the signs separate. So minus 2b squared is minus 2 by 4 squared. And then 3 by c is 3 by 2. So each of these means multiplied. So I'm going to leave that 2. I can't do anything with it yet until I've dealt with what's inside the brackets. So 3 by minus 3 is minus 9. Minus 4 squared is 16. 3 by 2 is 6. So 2 by minus 9 minus 32 plus 6. So 2 by minus 41 plus 6. So 2 by minus 35, which equals minus 70. Okay. Now you can of course put that into your calculator if you want to. The only thing is it doesn't necessarily teach you to practice using the BIMDAS. B brackets, indices, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So sometimes using your calculator isn't actually as useful as you might think. And that's what Black Panther says. Okay, anyway, Black Panther can go to the side. So simplify by multiplying the terms together. Now this is weird because we're going to end up with one big long string of things without any pluses in between. Okay, we might have a plus at the start or a minus at the start, but actually it's not going to end up like this because everything's multiplying together. So we're going to end up with one product. So I'm going to multiply my whole numbers together, my constants, minus 3 by minus 4. They're actually coefficients there rather than constants, but basically my numbers. Minus 3 by minus 4 is plus 12. X to the power 4 by x to the power 3 by x. So x to the power 4 by x to the power 3 by x. Remember that x has really got a little 1 there. So that's x to the power 4 plus 3 plus 1, which is 8. So x to the power of 8. Y to the power of 5 by y by y. So that's 5 plus 1 is y to the power of 7. And you notice I'm just writing them beside them. There's no pluses or minuses in between because this is one big term. And then t by t squared by t to the power of 5. T squared, t to the power of 5. So that's t to the power of 8. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Simplify by expanding the brackets, so multiplying out the brackets and collecting like terms together. So in other words, you multiply, and usually it would just say simplify. So usually that whole sentence would be written just as simplify. So I've just given you more detail there than normal. So 8 by x, 8 by 3, 2 by 3x, 2 by minus 10. That's what I have to do. Everything in a bracket has to be multiplied by what's outside. So 8 by x is 8x, 8 by 3 is 24, 2 by 3x is 6x, and 2 by minus 10 is minus 20. So what I have is 14x plus 4. 8x and 6x is 14x, 24 minus 20 is plus 4. Now, some people like to use the array for this. So I'm just going to draw an array over here. What we have is two brackets, and what we have to remember is everything in the two brackets has to multiply by everything else. So what I have is x plus 7 is one bracket, and x plus 3 is the other bracket. So my first term is x by x, which is x squared. My next term is x by 3, which is 3x. 7 by x is 7x, and 7 by 3 is 21. And then when I add those all up, they're going to give me x squared plus 10x plus 21. X squared, those two together gives me 10x and 21. Now, if you can, it can be a little bit quicker not to use the array, but it's fine to use the array. So x by x is x squared, x by 3 is 3x, 7 by x is 7x, and 7 by 3 is 21. So x squared, these two go together, plus 10x plus 21. I'm going to do this one over here without using the box or the grid. So 3x by 4x is 12x squared, 3x by 1 is 3x, 2 by 4x is 8x, and 2 by 1 is 2. So you notice I get 4 terms each time that I multiply out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I get 4 terms. So 12x squared, 3x and 8x is 11x plus 2. You really need to be doing this almost automatically if you're going to be doing well in higher level maths. Multiplying out double brackets, multiplying out single brackets, it should be really something that you practice a lot of if you're struggling with, because you need to be able to do it. And finally, equations. Remember, with equations, we're finding the value of the x or the a. So here, I want to remember, get letters on one side, numbers on the other. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 7 here because I don't want that 7 on that side. I want it gone. So by subtracting 7, I'm just left with 3a, and 34 minus 7 is 20. 34 minus 7 is 27. I want 1a, so I divide by 3, divide by 3. So a is equal to 9. Again, over here, now I've got a bracket. Remember, we did multiplying out brackets a minute ago. So if you have a bracket, you need to multiply it out first. So 2x minus 2 is equal to 4x. I want my x's on one side, my numbers on the other. Okay, and because, I just have to get my charger for my computer. So because my bigger number of positive x's is on this side, this is plus 4x, this is only plus 2x. I'm going to make sure all my x's are on the right hand side, and you'll see now why. If I subtract 2x from here, they cancel. Subtract 2x from here. What I'm left with is minus 2 is equal to 2x. If I had subtracted 4x from both sides here, I'd have ended up with a minus 2x, which is just a little bit harder to solve, but it's not a big deal. I want 1x, so I'm going to divide by 2. So I've got minus 1 is equal to x. Okay, I hope that helps. Watch it through again if you're stuck on something, and then if you need to, come in and talk to me, but make sure you've watched the video first. Bye.